This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity Podcast. Today is October 2nd, 2023. Here are 12 of the stories we're following today. First, the markets point down today after news that the government reached a deal to keep on funding the government. Now, this is in the mixed-up world that good news is bad news and vice versa. So here's the situation. Good news is Democrats and Republicans reached a last-minute deal to keep the government from going through a shutdown. That's good news. The bad news is the good news means that the Fed is more likely to continue on the path to raise rates. The government shutdown was expected to slow the economy, and this increased the odds that the Fed would slow raising of rates. Now that the economy is not shut down, and just as of Friday, Goldman Sachs has predicted a 100% chance of the government being shut down, and now it's not the case. This leads us back to the core issues of jobs, inflation, and other things the Fed looks at, and we'll get a better sense. The Fed has earlier said they expect one more rate raise this year at the November meeting, and now I think that's probably more likely to happen than not. So that's why the good news of the government not shutting down ends up being not such great news for the markets, as it leads the Fed more likely to keep on moving along with their plan on raising rates. The second story we're following today, a great Bloomberg story on why a U.S. recession is still likely and coming soon. Here, they make the case for a serious recession, looking at a whole bunch of different factors. Third, a couple notes on year-to-date where the major indexes are at. The NASDAQ is up 27% year-to-date, the Dow 1.1%, the S&P 500 12.13%. Fourth, Meta Platforms, or Facebook, is now up 140% year-to-date. Apple's up 31.77% year-to-date. Fifth, the federal student loan repayments are set to begin. Student loan repayments are starting again. This is another key issue that is expected to cause a slowdown in consumer spending. Sixth, Kaiser Permanente and its nurses have a contract that's expired. That affects 75,000 workers. It would be a historic U.S. healthcare strike that may start Wednesday. It's scheduled to go from Wednesday to Saturday or so. Again, a contract for 75,000 Kaiser Permanente workers. Seventh, Bitcoin has rallied again to above 28,000. It was down at 24,000 just a week or so ago, so it's rallied back to 28,300. Eighth, oil's right around $92 a barrel. Great article in the Wall Street Journal. Oil's near 100 hours. Shale isn't coming to the rescue on that discussion. Ninth, the United Auto Workers expands their strikes at GM and Ford plants. Ford Motor Company is up nearly 7% year-to-date. General Motors is down about 7% over the last 6 months. Tesla, the electronic vehicle maker, is up about 100% year-to-date. 10th, the iPhone 15 Pro owners complain about overheating. We'll see if this is a real issue or not. It's reported in the Wall Street Journal. Again, struggles with the iPhone 15 would be problematic for Apple, as it's relying so much on the phone and its ecosystem to keep its revenues moving in the right direction. 11th, story in the Wall Street Journal about how Democrats back Biden publicly for 2024, but more and more privately, they're saying they're not that thrilled about it. Fascinating situation where President Biden, President Trump, former President Trump, are running neck and neck in a head-on race. Obviously, our primary system, to me, is somewhat broken, at least my own opinion. Excuse me for sharing that. But the fact that we end up with these two nominees leads me to believe the primary system is somewhat broken. 12th, finally, thrilled tomorrow to kick off the Becker's Health IT plus Digital Health plus Revenue Cycle Conference at Navy Pier in Chicago. More than 4,000 attendees. I'm thrilled to get a chance to interview Tim Tebow. We've also got more than 400 speakers participating. Really excited for this meeting. And finally, I have a postscript today, and it's one of the discussions we talk about often, is that ownership matters. The Bears have now lost 14 games in a row. They seem to be doing a horrible job of picking leaders to run the franchise. And so if ownership can't do that, then ownership does matter. And in any event, they're 0-4. They've lost 14 in a row. It is hard to be a Chicago sports fan. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity Podcast.